r/rules horror. Posted by you/minminfan. Rules for shopping at Happily Ever After. Welcome to Happily Ever After, where you find the magic to glow the brightest on your very big day. We know it's every maiden's dream to turn heads and silence all chattering sounds into gasps of awe as they walk down the aisle with grace, just as we know the importance of having the perfect wedding dress to make it a reality. The one dress that complements your shape, exudes elegance, dignity, and, on top of that, represents your truest qualities, while doesn't look so store-bought, so everywhere. The search for that can indeed be stress-inducing, but we are committed to delivering a wonderful shopping experience that paints a smile on your pretty face. Here at Happily Ever After, designing skills and creativity are translated into every intricate detail of our bridal wear. Whether you are interested in a traditional meringue gown with statement tiers or a contemporary, casual style where simplicity is the highlight, we have you covered. However, please take care during your visit to our store. While Happily Ever After showcases the freshest bridal fashion, its interior and layout are somewhat old style, and thus, can be challenging to navigate. Unfortunately, making changes to the original arrangement isn't within our authority, so, to ensure all customers leave with a mind free of concern, we have compiled a list of rules for your safety and convenience. Rule 1. Our store is chronologically organized into 12 distinct sections, each representing a certain timeline, with their mainstays blended into the style of the corresponding collections. The transition is quite clear to the eyes. The items you find in the initial sections, close to the entrance, feature more contemporary, trendy designs, while those in the later sections offer vintage-influenced elegance. We never renovate, refurbish, or modernize the store. The number of the sections remain 12, it's an unchanging fact about Happily Ever After. If, upon entering, you notice a new area has sprouted overnight, or an existing area has disappeared, please calmly make your way to the entrance and wait for a solid 15 minutes. The store's layout should be back to normal by then. However, if the anomaly persists even after the wait, leave the store and return home immediately. Maintain a steady pace and don't let anxiety manifest in your gait or expression. Don't pause on the way. Don't enter a conversation with anyone. Go straight back home, lock the door, and contact the phone number on the business card you received earlier. The call would get through, and nobody would be talking on the other end. Don't worry, this is perfectly normal. Calmly explain your situation and hang up without an extra word. Come back to Happily Ever After the day after to continue your shopping. A coupon would be awaiting on the checkout counter as compensation for the inconvenience. Rule 2. On an unlucky day, after the call gets through, instead of the usual silence, you would hear somebody responding. Don't react strongly with your voice or cut off. Listen to the person on the other line and refer to these guidelines to build a safe reply. If you hear the voice of a little girl, who speaks in fragmented sentences and constantly mispronounces complex words, use a gentle yet authoritative tone to let her know that she shouldn't hassle a customer since that wouldn't reflect well on the business. She would apologize shortly, and the silence would return. If you hear the voice of an adult woman, who speaks like a professional customer care representative with a genteel and polite manner, keep on repeating that you do not wish for assistance during your shopping and turn down all suggestions she laces into the conversation. Ignore all her attempts to soften you with her personal charms, and firmly tell her that a customer is entitled to a peaceful shopping experience if they desire it. Stand your ground until she apologized and left. If you hear an unsettling monotone voice that echoes with each word on a drawl, break into your Karen mode. Chills might be running down your spine and your skin might prickle with goosebumps, but don't let the fear percolate your tone. It could trace the source of fear to where you live. Be unreasonable. Throw threats to topple the business, ask to see the manager. Don't stop until it's completely gone. If the worst comes to worst and they hang up the phone before you make the complaint, barricade yourself in a room that is devoid of bridal items. Remove all your jewelry, make a mess out of your hair and dress yourself in your most tawdry set of clothes. Erase all signs that your wedding day is around the corner. Cut a business card into as many strips as there are entrances to that room, doors, windows, vents, and glue them on each. Curl into the most inconspicuous corner and wait until morning. Do not respond to any sounds, door rattling, giggles or light touches on your skin. Rest assured that the likelihood of this incident is nearly non-existent. We prioritize our customers' safety. Rule 3. It is a sign of good luck to experience visions of your blissful future with your husband as you explore the store or try on a dress. Happily Ever After is more than a mere catchphrase, it's magic, and you would be bestowed with its blessing for as long as you walk in our gown and adorn yourself in our accessories. However, should you experience vivid and unsettling visions of misfortune, abandonment, loss, tragedy, or even death, we kindly request that you promptly vacate the section you are currently browsing. Please bring the dress that elicited these distressing images to the front desk and place it inside the black cabinet nearby. One of our staff would take care of it later on. Disturbing omens are not allowed in a place that was supposed to spark joy. Rule 4. There is a long stretch of hallway between Section 4 and Section 5, with walls free of decoration and floor a cold white. Don't question its incongruity with the rest of the store. Our main color panel consists of warm tones only, and walk with a quick pace to get past it. Be sure to always remain in the middle of the hallway and do not stray toward the walls. There is a good reason for that. You would constantly be seeing a mutilated torso clad in a blood-soaked corset propelling itself across the tiles on one gaunt, heavily damaged arm, with bones jutting out through the several deep wounds. Places that were once the head and other arm had been reduced to jagged cuts, and the blood gushing out would form a vibrant trail on the white floor. Loops of intestine would be spilling from the open cavity to join that gruesome mess. Don't disturb its leisure crawl, and it wouldn't get in your way. Don't run, don't retch no matter how much you wish to vomit at the sight and the miasma of decayed flesh that lingered in the air. Keep your eyes ahead, don't spare as much as a glance in its direction. Attract its attention and someday, an ill-fated customer might be witnessing your own torso dragging with difficulty across the floor. Rule 5. Instead of a living torso, if you find a disembodied head rolling casually across the hallway between Section 4 and Section 5, or a disembodied arm lying with palms skyward, gnarled fingers desperately curling and clawing at the air as though trying to reach something, do not approach. Leave before they detect you, and any section past that hallway is no longer available throughout the day. The head might sing a melancholy lullaby, laugh in a bitter tone or lament its miserable fate after you turn on your heel to leave. Keep on walking and don't look back. We are aware that its hypnotizing voice could churn out thousands of convincing sob stories, but you can't let it succeed in getting you to stay. Once you glance back and its hollow eyes come into view, you are beyond saving. Rule 6. All fixtures and decorations in the store have a contemporary touch to them, even those inside antique-themed sections. Do not enter any section or area where all elements seem to be from a time in the past, especially if they are packed with young women chattering incessantly. To create a comfortable shopping space, we uphold a strict policy against overcrowding, and you should never encounter more than 5 shoppers apart from yourself. If you fail to notice the anomaly and set one foot inside by mistake, silence would fill the room and all at once, the young ladies would turn their head in your direction regardless of where they stood. Nothing but their head. We urged you to keep calm even when seeing the heads swivel completely to the back, as though they weren't connected to their spines. Before their grin reached their ears, rupturing their skin to spill blood and they all detached themselves to drop on the ground in portions, you need to tell them this: Lady Lorraine sent me here to collect her items. Are they ready yet? They would freeze upon hearing the name, temporarily saving you from being turned into the newest fixture of the section. Now, you need to maintain perfect composure and proceed with the following step to get out of this cursed place alive. Take the white wheelbarrow wreathed in bloomed flowers from the corner of the room. You might physically push the girls aside for easy access. They would not be a threat so long as they are under the impression that you are Lady Lorraine's personal maid. Locate the only girl with her face hidden behind a white veil. Politely inform her that Lady Lorraine demanded the item. Don't grimace as a shrill exhilarating laughter pierced through your ears, and don't scream when she plucked off her head and tossed it into the wheelbarrow alongside the veil. Remain stoic as red stained the veil in patches. Push the wheelbarrow to the young lady in the most voluminous gown, and repeat the request, but for her dress this time. Brace yourself mentally for the sight of her deflating on the spot with a bright smile on her lips. She would be collapsing in on herself, contorting her own body, bones, and organs as grotesque sounds filling the air. After the dress dropped onto the floor around the heap of flesh and skin that girl had made herself into, carefully pick them all up and place them into the wheelbarrow. Do not vomit. Search the crowd for the lady wearing the most luxurious high heels and gloves. You could keep your eyes on the content of the wheelbarrow, pretending to assess the quality of the items as she buried her own teeth into her limbs, peeling off skin and chewing through the tissues to rip them off. The whole bridal attire had been assembled. Now, you need to calmly push the wheelbarrow out of the room. The door would automatically close behind you, and the connection between our world and theirs would be severed by this point. Give the wheelbarrow a strong push toward the opposite wall, ignoring the murmur of excitement coming from the mangled mountains of white textile and gore, then immediately turn back, open the door that had just been shut into its hinge and lock yourself inside. Lady Lorraine detested having spectators while she feasted. Lady Lorraine would slip a modest flower into the room through the gap under the door as a token of gratitude. You may leave after receiving it. The flower would protect you from the potential dangers lurking inside the store throughout the day, and you can have the dress of your choosing free of charge. Should the place has no door, make sure to always have your back to the entities and Lady Lorraine in the last steps. Rule 7. There would be a brief manual at the entry of every section to explain the types of dress/accessories that you would be finding there. Under any circumstances, do not come near or try on anything that wasn't mentioned in the guidelines we prepared. Wedding dresses are inanimate objects, and so are necklaces and earrings. It is impossible for them to have a haunting voice to call out to you and beg you to put them on. You don't hear them. You are hearing something else. Rule 8. Happily Ever After only uses full-body mannequins to display gowns and dresses. All of our corsets and tops are neatly hung on their racks, color-coded so that they are easily located and put back. If you happen to come across a bust mannequin, especially one with only an arm, please clear the area at once. Preferably before a pile of viscera exploded from its abdomen and hit the floor in a splash of blood and started crawling after you. Rule 9. We do not have a storeroom. All the items for purchase are inside their respective sections. If you are approached by anyone claiming to be an employee and demanding that you accompany them to the back for a special promotional program, do not follow. We are powerless against them once they have led you off the mortal plane. Rule 10. Respect the dresses, do not mishandle or find fault with them. Do not be a Karen. Lady Lorraine detested Karens. That is all. We hope you enjoy your shopping at Happily Ever After.